Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. So Fabio Wardley stops Michael Coffie in 4 rounds. And Coffie was furious at the end of it because his attitude was, what are you stopping it for? I'm okay. This is his fourth defeat now. Coffie at one point was being hailed as a prospect. I think he was on PBC. But he lost twice to Jonathan Rice, once by KO and on the second occasion, 10-round unanimous decision. And in his last fight, he fought someone, I can't remember who the guy was, but I know I didn't see the fight. And he retired after 6 rounds. That was an 8-rounder. This was a 10-rounder for the WBA Continental Heavyweight title, whatever that is. And it was a really good test for Fabio Wardley because Coffie came in with very little ambition other than to mess Wardley around. Coffie was overweight. I think he was about 19.4 or something like that, 19 stone 4. And he just, for the whole fight, he did this sort of Philly shell impression or lots of shoulder rolling. And he was awkward, and he was sticking his jab, he wasn't jab, he's sticking his jab hand out, to kind of, keeping him off. And then occasionally he'd pop the right over. But not a great deal of ambition, apart from in the 3rd round when he did catch Wardley and then he let his hands go. And Wardley was sort of momentarily trapped in one of the corners and he did look shaken. And if there's a doubt I have about Wardley, it's that he can be hurt and he can be stunned, he can be buzzed. Let's be honest, Coffie was, as I say, unambitious, was what would you call him, a B- guy, C+, B- heavy. It's a good learning fight for Wardley, but I do wonder about his punch resistance. I really do. If you remember his previous fight against Nathan Gorman, he got hurt in that as well. Worse than he did actually against Coffie. And he came back and knocked out Gorman in the same round, the 3rd round. Well, he didn't get Coffie out of there in the 3rd round, but in the 4th, he did catch him. What was the first punch, I think, was the overhand right. It did not really buzz, but it's kind of stung Coffie a little bit. Coffie was on the ropes. And then the one thing you can say about Fabio Wardley is that when he gets a guy hurt, he'll let his hands go. He seems to be a good finisher. He smells blood and he goes for it, like he did against Nathan Gorman. That was a vicious come from behind stoppage in that 3rd round. This time round, he just let his hands go. Coffie was sort of rolling, taking a lot of punches on the gloves, but he wasn't throwing anything back. And Howard Foster, who likes a quick stoppage, on this occasion, even though Coffie was furious, I don't really blame Foster for stopping it because Wardley was just, it was an avalanche of punches and nothing was coming back at him. Well, what do you want the referee to do? Wait till the guy's out cold? You've got to show some ambition. You've got to show something. You've got to punch back and give the ref an excuse not to stop it. And Coffie didn't do that. And he was huffing and puffing afterwards. Oh, it was a premature stoppage. I kind of get it because as soon as the action was over, Coffie was fine. He was like, but why weren't you punching back? Wardley's not bad at all. World title contender, I'm not so sure about that. But if I was, he's British champion at the moment. And if I was Matchroom Eddie Hearn, I'd be looking for the EBU title. Has he ever held the Commonwealth? I don't think he has. I think he's held the English and the British. But he's 28 now, which is not old for a heavy. 6'5", so he's got a bit of height. Always in shape. Trained by, is it Ben Davison? I think it is. He can go places, but I'm a little bit cautious about the punch resistance. I'm not too sure about that. And Michael Coffie seems to have slipped into that gatekeeper role. He's 36 now, so I think he's a former Marine. So, he's a tough enough guy. And a big lump. If he got down in weight a bit, got into shape, he's 6'5" as well, so he's a big lump. Maybe he can pick up some paychecks as a gatekeeper. But he's now slipped to 13 wins and 4 defeats. 3 of those defeats are by stoppage. And of his 13 wins, 10 are by KO. As far as Wardley's concerned, he's now 16-0 with 15 KOs. So he's got that glossy record. But yeah, I wouldn't thrust him into the world spotlight yet. I'd go for the EBU title. So this was on the undercard of Joshua versus Franklin. It was on DAZN. Let me know what you think of it. What do you think of Wardley? How far can he go? Yeah, leave your comments below. Thanks as always for your time, and like the video if you liked it. Hit subscribe. If we can build the channel up, that'd be great. All you got to do, it takes you a second to hit subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Catch you later. Bye for now.